I'm at the start of the Seven Sisters hike at the Geirangerfjord. Geirangerfjord. Have a look at that. Those are the Seven Sisters. Just started the Seven Sisters. The boat crew that dropped me off. I was the first one. It was a full boat. 2 spots left. Basically this ribbed boat. And I was dropped off. The only one to get off. And this chick was like, why does he keep saying that? Where are you going? I told them to tell tales about me after I'm gone. I hope they do. It would have been sick to record disembarking off the dinghy, but you can actually see the boat that I came in on. It's there in the distance by the waterfalls. Let me see if you can see it. Yep, that is the boat right there. We'll get a better look at the Seven Sisters in a bit. But it's just these rocky steps all along the way. I was actually supposed to be doing this hike with a buddy. However, my flight last night got turned around because of bad weather. And I couldn't land in Ålesund last night. Ended up staying the night in Tottenham. Made it to Ålesund this afternoon rather. Picked up a car and drove 2 hours to get here. But my buddy and his wife had already started the hike like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m., something like that. So I was able to see them before I got on the transport. And I actually got a proper send-off, which was cool. Maybe there'll be videos of that later, and if not videos, then at least photos. It's proper humid. This is also apparently the warmest Norway has been in almost a century. So it's pretty warm. However, definitely dealt with worse. Being from California and all, having hiked routes in Yosemite in the middle of summer, say like July, August through September, under the scorching sun. There's no sun out. It's 7:30 p.m. right now, and it feels quite pleasant. However, I'm just the kind of person who breaks a sweat even climbing this flight of stairs, and that isn't anything to say about my state of fitness, but that's how I'm wired. But upwards and onwards. Whew. So, thought I was gonna stop filming, however, it would be rude to leave you guys out of the funnest part, which is this treacherous staircase here. So this is the hike that I really wanted to do. Probably about the only thing that I wanted to do, or really had my heart set on. Hence the solo mission and the ultimate satisfaction that will come from having a look at those beauties from a higher vantage point. I also got these new shoes. They're a barefoot zero drop. Oh my God. Who cares about zero drops when they're seven sisters? And I have zero drop shoes. However, not like these. I should say I have zero drop hiking shoes, but not like these. These are, wow. Just have a look at that. These are very, how do you say, barefoot, yeah. This is a Vivo Tracker, I believe it is. Got some good grip on it, surprisingly. I don't feel the rocks. This whole trip I've done in a pair of zero drop shoes, which basically means I've walked all through Barcelona, Marseille, a little bit of Saint-Tropez, Amsterdam, in another pair of shoes, which would not have been ideal for a hike because they didn't have the type of grip that I would need. So I bought these in Amsterdam literally yesterday, a couple hours before I was flying out. And before this, I've only just worn them from the store to the airport, and that's about it. So they're very, very new and seem to be working well. And you guys get to hear me talk about my shoes because I'm here all by myself. And I quite like it. Being by myself, sometimes talking to myself. I promise you I'm not crazy. Alright, well, we're here. We've come from all down there. We got dropped off right where you see that buoy. That guy right there. And we are on our way up there. So I will check in a little bit. Begin to explain to you what it feels like to be up here in words. Beautiful, serene, peaceful, nice, all that jazz, but it's truly something. I'm actually in Norway. Like, I'm in Norway. And I'm hiking the hike that I wanted to hike. Ideally, I would have kayaked here from the dock, but after having taken the ride on the dinghy, I realized I would have been spent by the time before I even started my hike, but it would have been pretty fucking savage. And who knows, I might do it second time around. Maybe I'll come back for round 2 tomorrow. But yeah, let me change the view real quick. Feast your eyes on the Geirangerfjord. And onwards we march. It's only been maybe a minute since I ended the last video, but came to this vista and noticed that. How epic is that? Insane. There's a farmhouse, 2 farmhouses on this hike. That's the first one. We're gonna come up on it soon. This is the approach to the farmhouse. I'm getting closer to the farmhouse. It's about down there. I'm gonna show it to you first. But just have a look at the shrubbery here. These plants that are growing. I think a swarm of flies or a bee is after me. I can't tell which, and I don't want to find out. That was the welcome sign, by the way. This video is getting too long. I gotta run up there. There we are. Oh, look, it's got a mailbox and everything. Toilet. Wow. Just wow. Wow. God, this is amazing. Guys, welcome to my humble abode amidst the mountains of Norway, the Geirangerfjord, the Geiranger. And there's the Seven Sisters again. Seems like is that an anchor, or was that once a mechanism to transport goods up and down? Where does it go exactly? I don't want to get too close to the edge. Can't see it. Oh, I see it. Looks like it just anchors into the water, maybe. It's hard to tell. Difficult to discern against the trees since it's so dark. But behold, Geirangerfjord and the Seven Sisters in the farmhouse. God. Found this bench, having me a snack, drinking some water. Just taking this in. It's so beautiful and quiet here. And sitting on this, got a closer look and that waterfall down there, and you can hear it equally as loud, surprisingly enough. Equally as loud as the 7 up there. Just look at how the sun rays are beaming over the mountaintop. It's freaking epic. Got me a cool little snack, courtesy of the homie. A closer look at the farm house. Also have to shake the bench because I was under attack by pesky little flies. They blew up the spot, or I blew up their spot actually, but it was my cue to get moving anyways. What does the sign say here actually? Skagefla. Skageola. So the next stop we're going to is Holmlungsaitra. Probably butchered that, but that's where we're headed. Ooh. Nice. Oh, look, they got a little potty house. That's cool. You're gonna have to go do your dirt out in the open. Ooh. I wonder if this is open. I am smarter than that, but somehow I just fucking tried that right now. So, note to self to not to try to disturb old buildings, but it was with good intention. Probably a creek ran into here. Maybe still does when it rains. Drinking water. Oh, that's super cool. How do you get it though? What you mean drinking water? It's saying drinking water, bro. We're from where? Nah. Hell no. That's a setup. That's a setup, dude. Oh, look at that. Is that what it is? This might be drinking water. Nope, nada. I don't even know what that is. It's not connected to anything. It's just a hose. Behold the Seven Sisters once again. All right, time to get out of here. A little past the farmhouse, and you have this wall dripping water. It sounds really nice. Looks darn cool too. Though I expect there's a significant risk. Might just be making this up, but a risk of rock slides. So we will do the right thing and keep pushing, I believe. That is our path, and we will traverse these here rocks to get there. See up there? Probably 10-15 minutes from the farm. Taking a little quick break. Need a breather. Gain some elevation. Now I can see those two down there. Pretty cool. All right. Since I'm not getting tired of seeing this, I assume that anybody watching this isn't either, but get a load of that. Epicness. And it kind of flows in from the top up there. We must make our way up here. This might be a little slippery. Ooh, this is kind of scary, dude. Gnarly, bro. Ooh, that's cool. It's not even that narrow. But don't want to be down there. Oh, that's the bench that I was sitting at. Huh. We've come a long way. Wow. By the way, it's 8:40 right now and it's broad daylight. It really doesn't get any better than this. I'm gonna use both hands now. So I'm about 1.25 miles in, and since the last update, I climbed maybe 30 feet, and then I was gonna bend this corner to go up there, and I just turned back and looked, and I saw this, and maybe from this vantage, the camera, from the camera's perspective, it looks like any other view, but take my word for it. It is unlike any of the other views. Dude, just look at that. Good God. What am I even looking at? This is insane. Okay, this is, you just have to see where I'm standing right now. And holding on to these if needed, but tremendous. I just spotted something moving down at the farm that I was at. That is a big old bird for it to be that visible from up here. Because this is 1x zoom, and this is probably how I'm seeing it through my eyes at this level of zoom. For it to stand out and be that large from this distance in person, it's probably huge. So it seems that for now we have seen enough of the fjord until I guess we gain some more elevation and go back around towards the edge of the mountain. But I am in vegetation. I'm in the forest. But that does not look like a lot of fun, frankly. I mean, it is. I kind of want to sprint it up, but at the same time, I don't really have to be anywhere. So that's checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2 up there. Roughly about 300 more feet of elevation to gain until I have reached peak elevation on the hike. And then it's all downhill from there, quite literally. So that incline, I said I was inclined to sprint. Kept a good pace through it. However, still have maybe about a third of it left to go. Where is it? That dry patch there is where I was at. And I think somewhere up there, if you can see that arrow, maybe twice the distance from here to there to get to the top. And that, kids, is why you don't stand at the edge of cliffs taking photos, because you will probably drop your phone and make a very lame attempt to save it and probably fall with it. And on the other hand, don't really give a shit about my phone, even though I should. Seeing as how it's fairly brand new, but yep, upwards we go. So I'm up that piece of incline. I wanted to show you guys something. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but have you seen the Seven Sisters yet? Got him. Just when you thought that there would be no more, and there they are again. But the path seems to have flattened out a bit. We're gonna go down a bit before we make sort of our final ascent, if you may, which will bring us to the highest point on this hike. And sidebar, these shoes are absolutely killing it. I can't say enough good things. The other zero drop wide toe box shoe that I use for hiking is a Oboz, and they're really clunky and stiff. These are very flexible and extremely light, and I can feel everything underneath my feet, which is good. But these rocks, for instance, aren't poking through the sole, even though I am stepping on the sharp edges of them. And I like being able to feel what I'm stepping on without it hurting me, because it kind of gives you that ability to wrap around it with your foot, giving you more force on the push, which isn't felt through thicker sole shoes. And I'm not looking where I'm going, and I almost just ran into a branch, but these shoes are quite the ordeal. Look, stepping on pointy stuff. It's all good. Off the beaten path a bit. So this is a slight detour in the hike that is allegedly a vista. So let's see what it has in store for us. This isn't it. Found it. Find out with me what it's about. Oof. Good God. It just looks so different with every couple of 100 feet in elevation gain. That looks interesting. What is that? In pursuit of views, I travel and put myself in these beautiful situations only so I can look at something that is truly awe-inspiring that I haven't seen before. Big cities are cool. You know, they have their own sort of allure and their charm, especially the old quarters in big European cities. But I think people just have a way of killing the vibe. And there's no people here. And the vibes are on fleek, as they would say. Ultimate vibes, bro. Oh, look at this guy. Looks cool. Hey, buddy. I could definitely hike around the world and just record content. I think it's something about Norway in particular, though. The fact that it's 10 p.m., about to be 11 soon, and it's still broad daylight out, and there's no one here because I think most people would have turned in by now, and wouldn't start a 4.5-hour hike at 7 p.m. and then proceed to sit down half hour at a time at places where they see something they like. But I'm not most people. So, anyways, food for thought for me, I suppose. And here we have the second farmhouse. Kind of want to cut through here. Omlogsetra. Very cool, very cool. Ooh, nice. So I just pulled a classic me. After that second farmhouse, right behind it, I think you guys saw, was the incline. And me knowing that there was still maybe like 100 feet of incline left, I saw that incline and just took off, like literally for like 5 minutes. I didn't stop. And good thing I have all trails on. And it basically asked me, it's like, hey bud, what you doing? Yeah, trailblazing over there. And then I looked and I'm like significantly off track. So shout out All Trails for keeping me from getting lost. Left to my devices, I will end up on top of some peak. Not where I'm supposed to be. But I'm back at the farmhouse now. And we shall find the right way. Oh, I have now started my descent. I have roughly 3 miles to go. And I am going to probably do that at an hour 15 or maybe an hour and a half. Typically it takes me 18 to 20 minutes to walk a mile on flat ground. This is not flat, though downhill. It's quite rocky and I need to watch my step. And wherever possible to jog, I take the opportunity. However, there's not a lot of that anymore. There was some initially. Now it's just mostly shit like this. So sunset is in about 20 minutes, I think. And that will put me arriving in town, not sure exactly if at my car or what, at an hour past sunset. So hopefully it doesn't get too dark. The only light I have, look at these fucking leeches, disgusting. The only light I have is my phone, which is not good, but hopefully there'll be enough light at dawn, or at dusk rather, to light my path. But yeah, this is definitely not 20-minute a mile terrain. Maybe if I had walking sticks, I could do it faster. But that would probably be a lot more of that. Don't want to slip and bust my head 3 miles from the end of the trail. So I'm gonna take it easy. And we see civilization again. That is the town of Geiranger. And I have 1.9 more miles left to go. I'm going to sit here and drink some water, maybe a snack, contemplate my life. It is 11:10, I think, at the moment, when I last checked. And this is the state of daylight. It's just bewildering. It's hard to believe. I came down that road earlier to get to Geiranger. where does it start? Somewhere along the way there's a vista, a viewpoint. I think it's that up there. And there's quite the epic view. And then it's just like a dash down, you go down that road and you end up in Geiranger. I started right about there. I think it was that dock, that one right there. Actually, no, I think it was the one next to it. Yeah, it was the one next to it, that one right there. Yep. Cool, almost back home. Hopefully there's something open in town by the time I get down there so I can stick my teeth in a burger. I think that would hit the spot. A nice juicy burger, a nice beverage to go along with it. I think that would just be icing on the cake for the day. We are now coming upon the Homelung. Seems like either these are cabins for rent or people live here. I'm not sure, but look at these wildflowers. I'll tell you what the time is exactly, but my watch is dead. I think it's somewhere around 11:20, maybe 11:25. Still bright out.